Hello, my name is Alfredo Salmon Mujage from Edukea Tanzania. Welcome in this session to proceed with our first topic here in Form 5, which is pre-colonial African societies. On the last session we ended on the role of Mfekane war to the state formation. So now we are going to see the role of the long distance trade in the formation of states in East Africa. So we are going to see the contribution of the role of long distance trade to the formation of states in East Africa. The long distance trade in East Africa refers to the type of trade that took place between the people of the interior of East Africa and the ones from the coast. It means that the long distance trade, this was the trade that involved the people from the interior and the people from the coast. The main participants were the Yao, Kamba, Nyamwezi and the Baganda from the interior and the Arabs as well as Swahili traders from the coast. It means that the participants involved the two sides, the people from the interior of East Africa and the people from the coast. And those people who came from the interior involved Yao, Kamba, and the Yao were in the southern part of Tanzania. Kamba were on the northern part of Tanzania. Nyamwezi were in the central part or central route of Tanzania, and Baganda were in the northern route of the trade. From the coast, it means from the interior, and the Arabs as well as Swahili traders who came from or who were from the coast. So you can see that the Yao, Kamba, Nyamwezi and Baganda were the societies which came from interior parts of East Africa. And that trade were involved the routes, means there were the northern route, central route and the southern route. The southern route was controlled by the Yao. And Kamba as well as Baganda was controlled the route of northern. It means the northern route was controlled by Baganda and the Kamba, while the Nyamwezi controlled the central route of long distance trade, as well as Arabs and Swahili traders from the coast. The main items traded were guns, beds and the glassware that came from the coast, and the slaves, ivory, tortoise shells and the copper from the interior of East Africa. It means we can see the goods which were traded during that long distance trade. It means the guns, beds and the glassware came from the coast that were brought by the Arabs and the Swahili traders to the interior parts of East Africa. And in East Africa there were goods which were took from the interior, which involved slaves, ivory, tortoise shell and the copper from the interior of East Africa. So these were items or goods which were taken from interior, and these were goods which were taken from the coast. The main medium of exchange was barter trade system, which is exchange of goods for goods. It means that the main medium of exchange by that time or during the long distance trade was the barter trade or barter system, whereby there was the exchange of goods for goods. It means if you brought or you could bring slaves, you will change the slaves with the gun, or if you exchange ivory, you will be given the bed, or if you change the tortoise shell to give the Arabs or Swahili traders, the Swahili traders or Arabs, they will give you the glassware. So that's where the long distance trade was taking place during that era. The long distance trade provided a crucial role in the formation of states in East Africa as follows. It means that the long distance trade provided a crucial role in the formation of states in Africa as follows. The first one was accumulation of wealth. Those African chiefs who monopolized the trade in pre-colonial Africa accumulated a lot of wealth that was used to build states in East Africa, such as Baganda and the Bunyoro. It means that the African societies or states that was involved in during the long distance trade, it means their chiefs monopolized the trade in the pre-colonial Africa trade, and that made them to accumulate a lot of wealth that was used in building the states in East Africa. For example, the Buganda and the Bunyoro, these were the examples of states which were formed in the northern part of the route. There is kings such as Mutesa of Uganda and Kabarega of Bunyoro and Nyunguyamawe of Ukimbu accumulated a lot of wealth that was used to build strong states. It means that the chiefs or the kings which were involved in the trade, on the long distance trade, involved like Mutesa of Uganda, this was the king of Buganda state or Buganda kingdom. Kabarega, the king of Bunyoro, and Nyunguyamawe of Ukimbu state. So due to the accumulation of a lot of wealth, that made them to build strong states, and that's how long distance trade led to the formation of states in East Africa. Another was introduction of guns. It means that there was introduction of guns. The long distance trade led to the introduction of guns into the interior of East Africa. It means that in East Africa before the long distance trade there were no guns, but when the trade was conducted between the people of the interior of East Africa and the people from the coast, the Arabs and Israeli traders, they brought the guns to the interior parts of East Africa, and these guns were used to strengthen the armies that were used for conquest and the expansion the territory of those states. It means that the guns which were brought or which were exchanged during the trade was used to strengthen or to stabilize the army that was formed by the kings of those states, and those armies were used to conquer and expand the territory of the states. As the result led to the formation of states in East Africa. So in that way, that was another contribution of long distance trade to the formation of states. Most of the states in East Africa were established through conquest and expansion. It means that most East African states were formed through the conquest and expansion. It means if the state was formed, it means they wanted to conquer the neighboring states or the neighboring smaller states in order to expand their territory, and that to make that kingdom or state to be stronger and stronger, as well as to have the large territory. The contribution number 3 or role number 3 was active participation in agriculture. It means that there was active or effective participation in agriculture. The long distance trade encouraged people to participate actively in agriculture to produce goods that could be exchanged during the trade. It means that the active participation in agriculture led to the formation of states. It means that the people were fully participated in agricultural production, and in production they produced various goods that could be exchanged during the long distance trade. Active participation in agriculture increased the agricultural production, which accommodated in high population. This contributed to the formation of states. It means that if the agricultural production was increased, led to the to the increase of population. And if the population is increased, that was the marked or the main factor to form the state, because the state or kingdom wanted to have the large number of people. So if there was the abundance of food supply, probably the population could increase, whereby there was the high reproduction of people. This contributed to the formation of states, and states such as Buganda, Karagwe and Bunyoro were formed in those areas where agriculture was active. It means you can see that Buganda were producing the banana crops, and banana were providing the abundant surplus of food that was fed by the population present in Buganda state, as well as in Karagwe. Karagwe were the main producer of banana crops that provided the food to the population, and that led to the increase of population, as well as in Bunyoro. These are the states which were formed in the northern part of East Africa. It means that agricultural production or agricultural activities was very active in those areas, and that led to the formation of these states, the result of agriculture, the result of long distance trade. Another was the emergence of strong leaders. It means how the emergence of strong leaders led to the formation of states. It means that during the long distance trade, there were leaders, or there were people who fully participated in the trade, and they become benefited from the trade, and they become other leaders, and those leaders who were united the people and to mobilize them to form the states in order to occupy on a certain area. The long distance contributed to the emergence of strong leaders such as Mkwawa of the Hehe and Mtesa of Uganda. To me, that the long distance trade led to the emergence. The long distance trade led to the emergence of some leaders, and those leaders were influenced or were influenced to the formation of states, whereby Mkwawa of the Hehe and Mtesa of Buganda were made. These leaders played a fundamental role in the emergence of states in East Africa by uniting the people. I mean, those leaders or those strong leaders played a fundamental or an important role to the formation of states in East Africa, whereby they united people. Another was the migrations. It means that the long distance trade involved the migration of people from the coast to the interior parts of East Africa, and vice versa is true. Means the people of interior parts of East Africa migrated from their areas to the coastal areas or to the coastal areas. The long distance trade encouraged the migration in East Africa. People moved from one place to another to take part in exchange of goods. The migration of people contributed to permanent settlement that had a role to play in state formation. It means that as people was moved from one place to another, from the interior to the coastal areas for the exchange of goods, that made to establish the permanent settlement for conducting their trade or trading activities, and that action made or contributed much to the formation of states. You can see the example as the presence of Arabs the Arabs origin people in Tabora. This was the result of the long distance trade, because the Arabs were migrated from the coastal areas to the interior part of East Africa, and they established the permanent settlement there, and that's why the leader of Nyamwezi managed to form the state, and because of the people who migrated from the coast to the interior part of East Africa. Another was development of towns. On how development of towns led to the formation of states. It means the long distance trade contributed to the growth of towns because actually are the trading centers. So in one way or another, those towns were united by the strong leaders who made and to unite those trading centers to form the states. It means the long distance trade contributed to the development of towns in East Africa. These include Ujiji in Tabora and Bagamoyo. I mean Ujiji, Tabora and Bagamoyo. It means these were the towns or trading center which was developed during the long distance trade. So in Ujiji, this present in Tabora was actually as the trading center. So probably that area could develop as a town because there was accumulation of people there conducting their trading activities. As well as in Tabora. In Tabora, now it's called in urban or in Tabora town. This was the area which was related at the long distance trade because that area was actually at the trading center and people conducted their trading activity there, and that's why they started to establish the permanent settlement. As well as Bagamoyo. This was the place or the town which was developed in coastal area. So due to the development of towns, these areas acted as the trading center, therefore they attracted many people that contributed to the formation of states. It means that if there is the growth of towns, it means the people will accumulate in that area in order to seek for the opportunities for trading activities. And after settling on that area, the people probably will form the state because there will be the permanent settlement by those people who are conducting the activities. And because of there were immediate leaders who could unite those people to form the states that acted as the main role for the formation of states in East Africa. And the last one was the growth of trade routes. How trade routes, the growth of trade routes led to the formation of states. Mean the long distance trade contributed to the development of trade routes in East Africa. These routes opened the interior of East Africa. It means that the trade routes or the growth of trade routes actually are the trigger to the formation of states in East Africa because these routes were usually are the ways or are the transport links between the trading people or traders from the interior to the coastal areas or from the coastal areas to the interior, whereby people were transported their goods and the items to exchange with other people. So you can see there were three routes which involved the southern route, which was controlled by the Yao. There was another central route that was controlled by the Nyamwezi. And the last route or the third route was northern route, which was controlled by the Kamba and the Baganda in the northern part of East Africa. So in one way or another, those routes contributed to the movement of the people from one area to another for conducting a trade, and after migrating from one place to another, they were establishing the permanent settlement, and the leader who were made in that area united those people to form the state. So that's how the long distance trade contributed to the formation of states in East Africa. Another, I can say that this is another part or another page which we can look. It is the role of Islam in the formation of states during the 19th century. The role of Islam to the formation of states in the 19th century. Islam or Islamic war, or you can call it jihadi war, to the formation of states during the 19th century. A jihadi is a holy war in Islam. It means jihadi was a holy war in Islam. Jihads were one of the most significant events that dominated in West Africa during the 19th century. It means that jihads were the frequent wars that was played a significant role in the formation of states in West Africa, and that wars was most dominant in the western part of Africa during the 19th century. They were mainly led by Ottoman dan Fodio. It means that the war, or the Jihad war, was mainly led by their leader known as Ottoman dan Fodio. Jihads can be traced back as far as the 10th century, when young Fulani immigrants with Islamic knowledge in politics influenced the other people to start holy wars. It means that Jihad war or Islamic war can be traced back as far as the 10th century, when the young foreign immigrants with Islamic knowledge, it means those foreign immigrant people with the Islamic knowledge in politics influenced the other people to start or to wage on holy wars that was conducted or that took place in the western part of Africa or West Africa. Jihads under the umbrella of Islam played a fundamental role in state formation in West Africa. It means that jihads under the umbrella of Islam played a great role to the formation of states in West Africa. States such as Sokoto, Mandika, and Tokoro were results of jihad. It means that the states which were formed as the result of jihad war were Sokoto, Mandika, and Tokoro. These were states that formed in West Africa. How jihads as an Islamic war contributed to state formation in pre-colonial Africa? What were the contribution or roles of jihadi war to the formation of pre-colonial African states? It means the first role of jihad war was the unification. The jihads acted as the unifying factor that brought people together under one umbrella. Islam became the official ruling ideology of the states. It means that the jihads acted as the unifying factor of the people to become the one state or one umbrella. Islam becoming the unifying factor because that was the religion that was unifying the people to follow that ideology of religion. The unit provided by Islam was very crucial in state formation. The Islamic law, Sharia, proved the alternative mode of government with which to compare and attack their rulers. It means that the unit provided by Islam was a very crucial in state formation, whereby the Islamic law, known as Sharia, proved the alternative mode of government with which to compare and attack their rulers. It means that Islamic law was used as the mode of government, means was used in ruling the people and to attack and compare their rulers. conversion of non-believers was an essential duty of all Muslims. It means the conversion or transition or to convert those non-Muslim believers was the essential duty of all Muslims. It means the Muslims or the jihads were or at the essential rule or essential law or a vital role in the conversion or converting the non-Islamic believers to follow their ideology of believing. That's why that action of converting those people who are not believing in Islam to be converted to follow the Muslim or the Islamic Sharia or Islamic law was acted as the unifying factor to bring people together and to form the states following the Islamic law that led to the formation of Western Africa states such as Sokoto, Kololo, and Mandika. Another was formation of strong armies. Another was the formation of strong armies. The jihads were characterized with the establishment of strong armies. It means that the jihads were characterized by or with the establishment of strong armies. These armies were later used for conquest and expansion, thus formation of states. It means that the jihads led to the formation of strong armies, and those armies were used for conquest and expansion of the territory. So the neighboring states were conquered, and the territory of that state that were expanding their territory was increased, and that led to the formation of states. This was responsible for the formation for states such as Sokoto Caliphate and the Hausa states. It means that the army played a great role for formation of states such as Sokoto Caliphate and the Hausa states was formed as a result of those armies which were expanded and they conquered the smaller states to form the strong states. Another was emergence of strong leaders. Emergence of strong leaders. Jihad contributed to the rise of strong leadership. These leaders were seen as Muslim reformers who managed to create strong leadership under their leaders like Futa di Jalon in Guinea in 1725 and the Sokoto Caliphate. It means that there were emerging leaders who were strong, and those leaders managed to create the strong leadership and united the people of that area to form the strong states. For example, Futa di Jalon, this was the leader who made in Guinea in 1725 or 1725, and the Sokoto Caliphate, as well as there was somebody called Dan Fodio. These were the leaders who emerged. But another was the control of trade routes. It means that there was the full or the effective control of trade routes. The jihads led to the control of trade routes by the jihad leaders. These trade routes attracted many people. It means that the jihads or the Muslims led to the control. It means the jihad war led to the control of trade routes by the jihadi leaders. It means those jihad leaders or the Muslim leaders were the main controller of the trade routes. So these trade routes attracted many people, and the wealth accumulated was used to build strong states. It means during the trade activities there was accumulation of wealth by those leaders who were controlling the trade routes, and that accumulated wealth was used to build the strong states. Trade also accumulated ground that were used for conquest and expansion. So after looking the contribution of Jihadi war, I would like to give you the exercise which comprise the two questions which you are supposed to perform. The first question is explain the laws of the long distance trade in the state formation in East Africa. And the second question is assess the contributions of oil wars in West Africa to the formation of states. So these are the questions which you are supposed to do and come up with the answers. So until there, this is the end.